Good evening. Welcome to From the 80s View. I'm your host, Dr. Cedric Brown. Today's guests are Rachel and Mike Dean. Rachel and
Go.
Mike.
Oh.
My sister from another mister and my brother from another mother, Rachel and Mike Dean. How are you all this evening?
Wonderful.
Absolutely. So, couple topics to talk about today. Um, can you all describe what Chiefs Kingdom is?
Yeah. I remember as a little boy crying because my dad went to the game without me. And I
Mm,
said, I will never be put in that place again as an adult. And I go to every game I can. And we even got a third ticket for our son so he can go to every game.
okay. Well, Rachel, what does the Chiefs tailgate mean? What's that like?
Oh man, it's excitement. Get you pumped, get you ready for the game, and it's also a togetherness with your family, your Chiefs family. So it's big.
Okay.
It's big time.
And speaking of family, that's a great segue. The Dean family experience, lifelong Chiefs fans. What does that mean?
Whew. Man, it's a lot of fun. It's something that the family enjoys, and I become friends with people that become family on the sake of tailgating and being out there. And just like we're having a party, 30 people are coming over for the Super Bowl.
Wow. These topics and more on From the 80s View. Let's get it. Welcome back to the show. First of all, before we get started, I'd like to give honor to God, who's the head of my life, because without Him, none of the things that I do would be possible. Not as a husband, not as a father, not as a new grandfather. Shout out to my little grandson, or not as a professional. So I'd like to give honor to Him, making everything that I do possible. Now let's bring back the Dean family. Well, first of all, Rachel, I want to say to you, thank you for your service,
Thank
the
you.
things that you've done. Also, Mike, thank you for your service, for everything that you all have done in your military lives. I really appreciate all of you, and I know you very well. So I love you all for what you do and how you serve our country. So thank you for that. And my sister Rachel just came back from deployment, doing her thing overseas, making sure that this country is safe. So, sis, I thank you for that. So now let's get into this. There's a football team in Kansas City that is going to its third Super Bowl in 5 years. Um, how excited are you two
Fourth,
about this?
fourth.
This
Fourth Super
this.
Bowl in
Oh
five
yeah.
years.
Well, I knew I was waiting for you to correct me because I got it in my notes right here, and I said Mike is gonna correct me, so you didn't. Rachel did. Thank you. Fourth Super Bowl in 5 years. Um, it can be their third win. Um, what does it mean, Mike? I mean, we live together down the street from one another, and all I heard was Chiefs this, Chiefs that, and I'm a Giants fan. So, what's that all about, Mike? Well, tell me, what's that all about?
I'm gonna sum it up. I'm usually a wordy person, but I'm gonna step it back a little bit, and I'm just going to say the beginning of a dynasty. That's what it's all about. That's what
Okay.
that means.
Okay. All right. Well, like they were talking about Dynasty on one of the sports networks the other day, and they compared it to the Chicago Bulls, who had 6 titles in 8 years. They compared it to those Patriots up north. Um, is it a dynasty? Is it a dynasty? I'm asking a question. I'm just asking a
We'll
question.
find out after this one.
I
So,
actually,
so a lot of
go ahead, Mike.
yeah. See, a lot of people think a dynasty is winning championships. A dynasty is being there to play in a championship, to
Okay.
be that good, to put your body through so much for how many games a season now?
Right.
They were
Right.
playing what, 12, 13 games? We're at 17, 18.
18.
You keep winning, you keep playing 20 games. They're putting their bodies through this.
Okay. All right.
So it's totally different from then to what it is
So
now.
now that is a good point, Mike. That is a great point because we stand on the shoulders of those before us always. At the same time, we have to give credit where credit is due for those that are doing it right now, right?
Yeah.
Rachel, what is this Chiefs kingdom that I keep hearing about? Everybody says Fan Nation this, Fan Nation
Yeah.
that, but the Chiefs say Chiefs kingdom. What's that all about?
We're the kings of football, kings and queens of football. So it's a mindset. It's a togetherness. Like if you see somebody in the red and yellow, you know that you have something that has brought you together. We've been through hardships and pain, and now we're going through the joy and winning, So it's something that brings us all together.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And I've experienced um your fandemonium, right? Being Chiefs fans, because I've been over to the house for games. I was at the house for the Super Bowl last year and everything, and it is real with you all, and you draw people that are around you, and they whether they're Chiefs fans or not, and I'm a Giants fan, but when I was there at the party, I was into it the way that you all were because of what you all bring, and that's a big thing. And going to our next topic, you two had a previous business that was, I believe, was called Tomahawk Tailgate. Am I correct in saying that,
Mm-hmm.
Mike and Rachel?
Yeah,
You
that's it
all
right there.
you all did you did your thing with the tailgate, but what does the tailgate mean? And Mike and Rachel, what made you all start that business? You eventually, it was successful and you eventually sold it, but what made you do that?
We went to a trip in Texas to watch the Chiefs play the Texans in a wild card playoff game. And while there, we saw these trailers that were just decked out, man. And we were like, man, we need one of those as many games as we're going to, because my wife really got tired of using the porta potty. And when a guy said $1 to use a clean bathroom, she was sold right there.
Okay, I see it, because I mean, you all are very business minded and entrepreneurial minded individuals. I've come to know that as I've known you, and when you told me about the business that you had, I was like, well, how does that work? And Mike, you just basically said, I go, wherever they call me to go, I go around and I cook and I get the setup and things, and I'm thinking in my mind, like, man, how is Mike really and Rachel really making money on that? But when you showed me the setup, right, and then when you talked to me about the tailgate experience there at the Chiefs games, it's second to none. So, Rachel, take me through when you all are tailgating. Take me through from the time that you guys set up, the little experience between right before you go in for kickoff. Kind of take me through that. Take the viewers through that experience.
Oh, well, first of all, if it's a noon game, we're getting in line at like probably 5 a.m. at the latest, because we got to
Okay.
get our spot. Everybody has their spots. The regulars know where they're going. So once they open the gates, which are probably around like 8:30 normally,
Yeah.
we rush to get to our spot. We set up, start getting we have canopies, we have TV, we have direct TV. Get all the tailgating games out. We got to have cornhole. Everybody plays bags. Get all the food set out, get it warmed up, and just have a good time with our friends. It goes by so fast though that you're like, all of a sudden it's time to go into the game. But my number one thing is I don't miss the national anthem. So we got to shut it down to make it in time for the national anthem.
Absolutely. So, Mike, take me a little bit through your experience, because because as the viewers can see, you are the clown in the family, right?
You know,
You are the court jester, the king, right, in the family of comedy,
oh yeah.
right? So take me a little bit through your experience through that, going through and set up into the game.
So basically, I'm the workhorse in the family when it comes to this part of the business. See, when we get in line at 5 o'clock, I'm opening that trailer up partially, and about 7 to 10 of us are already cooking breakfast and serving up food, having celebratory libations,
Libations.
being able to
I
be
like that.
there.
I like
And
that.
then we get in and we start cooking all over. I start cooking all over again. And my sous chef over here is slicing and dicing the night before and helping me out as well while I'm on the grill. So after that, it's a core group that helps us put everything together so we can make it in for the national anthem.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So, one thing that I want to make sure that I do is talk about the game, right? So, how significant is this game, Mike? You mentioned Dynasty. Is this game to Patrick Mahomes' legacy, to Travis Kelce's legacy, um, to Coach Andy's legacy? How significant is this game to everything that is Chiefs Kingdom?
Let me start. In the words of Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, it's no different than any other game. We go out there to perform and show out, give them our best every single time. That's what it's all about. That's what Chiefs Kingdom is all about. You're going to get our best. You're going to think every game is a close game because we're giving our best.
Okay. Um, well, Travis Kelce is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I would argue, right, as someone that views football and then commentates on it, before after the fact. Travis Kelce arguably is probably going to be the best tight end to ever play the game. What can, if anything, Rachel, I'll ask you because football sis is as good as anybody, man or woman. What can the 49ers do to stop Travis Kelce?
I don't know. Not many teams have been able to do it. For some reason, he is able to get open all the time. You'll just see him wide open in the end zone. How does that happen when you should be double teaming him every play? But somehow he always, especially if they're in zone, he can find that open zone every time. So, and they
Right.
just, Mahomes and Kelce just have that connection. They just know what the other one's going to do, even if it's not part of the play. So
Right.
it's crazy. They're next level. So
Before we go to break, Mike, I'm gonna ask you this question. This is a little tough question for you. Coach Bieniemy let go from the Commanders as the OC. Doesn't have a job right now. Coach Reid wins the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna speculate right now, Mike. Coach Reid wins the Super Bowl and retires. Do the Chiefs bring Eric Bieniemy back as the head coach of the Chiefs?
I 100% say yes.
So you believe that, obviously, like I believe, that Eric Bieniemy deserves an opportunity to be a head coach in the NFL.
Look what he did, man. Look what
Will
he did with that quarterback in Washington. He was in the top, 5 or 10? Okay, top 10 of quarterbacks in
right,
statistics, in
right,
yardage.
right,
Look at that. So
right,
you tell me, an offensive coordinator, he understands he needs a support staff or anything else. That's what a head coach needs. I need you to take care of this, and we come together and take care of this and make a successful quarterback based on the weapons he has available.
right, right.
We don't need
Well,
superstars.
I think that he does deserve an opportunity, right? One, because he's a good coach. Two, because he's a person of color in the NFL, and the NFL needs to have more head coaches in that league. They're doing better with defensive and offensive coordinators, but they still need an opportunity to have men of color to run these teams, and he's definitely one that can do it. Rachel and Mike, stay with me, right? I have one more special topic to talk about when we come back. You're watching From the AD's View. I'm your host, Dr. Cedric Brown. We'll be right back after this break.
Renting is everything. It's style at your doorstep, off the runway and into your closet. It's every trend you've been dying to try and every designer you've yet to discover. It's wearing it your way every time and making it count everywhere you go. It's never worrying about what to wear because something new is always coming your way. That's why renting is everything. New styles, top designers, all for a flat monthly fee. Start your subscription at renttherunway.com.
Slow roasted over hickory fire and pulled by hand. This is the way pit pork has always been done. Pulled pork lovers, rejoice. The smoky old days are back at the Smoke Shack. From the creative team that brought you the Browning Project and Dead by Morning comes a new thriller that will change the way you look at white-collar crime forever. Falling from the Sky.
Water. It's everywhere. We drink it, we bathe with it, we cook with it. Coffee's made with water. Toilets won't flush without it. It's used for washing clothes, dishes, utensils, pots, pans, floors, and our teeth. Plants and crops need water, animals drink it, and fish need it too. And don't forget, we can have a lot of fun in the water. Water. What would we do without it?
Welcome back. You're watching From the AD's View. I'm your host, Dr. Cedric Brown. Before we get back to our today's guest, I'd like to talk a little bit about my book, How Black Men Overcome Racial Barriers and the Status Quo in NCAA Institutions. It was a book that I wrote because I wanted to give a better clarity and definition of the success that occurs with men of color in leadership roles in Power Five institutions. So in doing that, had several great conversations with sitting ADs in Power Five institutions or retired ADs that had moved on. And what I found, there were three themes that came out of that. What I found was that role models are simply seminal, very important to the success of young men, men of color coming through the ranks in those NCAA institutions. The expectations that the role models had for mentees was very important because it's not about the next job. It's about doing the job that you're at and doing that job successfully. And then those other opportunities will come along. And then last but not least, the perceived racial barriers that may, they are perceived, but some of them were real, right? How did those men that successfully navigated through, predominantly white institutions and those institutions in Power Five, at that Power Five level, what did they do successfully, right? It wasn't some woe is me, people are holding me down, they're holding me back. But it was more like, hey, they gave me an opportunity. I rolled my sleeves up, I put my head down, and I succeeded. And that's the reason why I wrote the book. If you want to get the book, you can find it on Amazon.com. It's a great read. It's an easy read. Lots of interviews and lots of different views, pun intended, in the book, right? You can also get in contact with me on cedricmbrown.org. If you want to know more about the things that what I offer, services that I offer, speaking engagements, consulting with NIL, consulting with eligibility for your student athlete, get in contact with me on my website, cedricmbrown.org. Or you can get me on my YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Dr. Cedric M. Brown on YouTube. And I'd be happy to sit down and talk with you. You can email me through cedricmbrown.org. I'd be happy to sit down with you. And if you want to be a guest on the show, please contact me through cedricmbrown.org and we can work that out. From the AD's View is shown on Sunday evenings at 6:40 Central, 7:40 Eastern. And I'd love to have you on the show. So get in contact with me. Now, let's bring back the Dean family, Rachel and Mike Dean. Like I said, a sister from another mister and a brother from another mother. And I see that we have a little wardrobe change. Now, all you viewers that you don't know this, my brother and sister, they are the most unique individuals that I've ever been around. Fun loving, and Rachel's the boss. She's the boss. Mike says no, but I say yes. She's the boss. Look at that. Look at that. Always flossing, always, doing something extra, something special. No, but I love you. And the reason why I do is because of what I said, family, right? So, Rachel, can you talk a little bit about how the season tickets came about and things like that, please?
So when we were dating, we had been to a couple games and we were getting ready to get married, and I was trying to think of what I wanted to get him as a wedding gift. And I just kept coming back to our love for the Chiefs. And so I started looking into getting season tickets, and I realized it was actually affordable because that was when the Chiefs were losing miserably still. But we had just hired Andy Reid and we had Alex Smith, so things were getting better. And so I decided to go ahead and jump on in and get season tickets for him, and I surprised him at our wedding with them.
Okay, so see how special it is. And what did he do? Get you a whisk and a couple of spatulas and things? What did he get you? I'm just joking, Mike. Look at this.
He got me a ring. That's what matters.
I'm just joking. But and we talked earlier, and obviously I won't mention his name, but my nephew, your son, is a part of that Dean experience with the Kansas City Chiefs. And Rachel, you do a really good job of sharing your family experiences on your social media platforms and things like that. Mike, what does it mean for you to be able to share that experience with my nephew?
I'll tell you what, it's a blast to show him that as a family and as hardworking people, you can do what you want to do if you're willing to put in the time and the sacrifice that you need to do in life, and then enjoy the work that you've done. So that's what it's all about, because he knows it's not free. He knows that we make sacrifices to be there and to do the things that we love. But he also knows that he comes before the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, I said it. That's why we're not in Las Vegas right now, because he had activities going on Friday and Monday, and we said we can't do that turnaround. I'm too old.
Right. As a under 50-year-old man says, I'm too old. But Rachel, I want you to do me a favor and tell the audience, what you got going on behind you over there. Can you describe some of that stuff behind you there, Rach?
Well, this one's a Super Bowl trophy replica of Super Bowl 54. So that was probably the most special Super Bowl for us because it was the first one the Chiefs had won in 50 years, but it's also signed by Patrick Mahomes. So that's one of my prized possessions. It's something that we hold dear to us. And then this one's a game used football against the Ravens in the 2018 season. 2021 season. It was again a season that we made it to the Super Bowl, right? I believe so. At least it was a very important season, but also it's ball number 58, which the number 58 for the Chiefs Kingdom is a big deal. Derek Thomas wore 58, and so died way too soon. But he made a huge impact on Chiefs Kingdom, and so 58 is an important number, and that's why Super Bowl 58 is important to us too. So. And then the other Super Bowl trophy is the one from last year, Super Bowl 57. And then we have, this is something, so season ticket holders get gifts every year from the Chiefs. So this is something that the Chiefs sent all season ticket holders last year.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's a little paperweight. It's very nice. They did a great job. And then, so in 2022, they sent us a football for the 50th season, and it says season ticket member. And then one of my all-time favorite players right now is Nick Bolton. So this is a signed jersey from his rookie year. He's also a Mizzou guy, so we root for him. We were excited to see him get drafted by the Chiefs. And then we got another little replica of the ring from last year. The top comes off. That shows Arrowhead on the inside.
That's awesome.
50 on the inside, and then the inscriptions and engravings on the.
That is awesome.
But there's boxes and boxes of memorabilia in the basement. We're just waiting to finish it off.
to break it on out. And
Yes.
Viewers, as you all see, my sister is very gifted in putting things together and decorating and things like that. And my brother, as you saw, he just sat there and he didn't say anything. So let's just recognize, Rachel Dean. We just recognize Rachel Dean right now. We recognize Rachel Dean because Mike Dean is just sitting there like a bump on the log. But no.
I bet not move nothing either.
Yeah, don't
Not
touch
even,
it.
not even a sofa.
Right. So, Mike, you have, been in and around football. You coach football in youth leagues and things like that. What is it going to take for your Chiefs to be victorious at the Super Bowl, at the end of the Super Bowl? What's it going to take?
Getting getting Purdy off of his comfort zone. Our defense. It's going to take that line that penetrates with such tenacity to make quarterbacks nervous, and that's what it's going to take, because then they will make mistakes, and that's what football. That's how sports are won. What team is going to make the most mistakes, and then we capitalize on that on the offensive side of the ball. Okay,
Rachel, your receiving core prior to the playoffs was, I think they led the league or in the top 3 in the league in drops, but they've fixed those things. Patrick Mahomes has done a better job of, not taking so many shots and giving the ball to receivers early so they can do things. What is that receiving core going to have to do to be victorious, Rachel?
I don't know that they have to be mistake-free, but they have to be pretty close to mistake-free. But I think just playing on our strengths, Rashee Rice has he has the most yards right now of after contact. And so, just get the ball in that man's hand and let him run. And then, honestly, run the ball. We got to use Pacheco more and not leave it in the receiver's hands all the time. So run the clock, keep the ball away from the 49ers, make their defense tired, make Bosa tired. I think we can win that way.
Speaking of Pacheco, Mike, the man runs like he's mad at the ground. When he put his foot in the ground, he he act like the ground owe him some money. What's going on with him, man? Why is he so successful, Mike?
You know, as a kid, I remember running like that when I got my first pair of zips.
Oh, don't go to the
And-
zips, Mike.
Yeah, I'm going to the zips. The
To the
Z on the
zips.
side. But again, he runs like he loves the game. He runs like he's happy to run. He runs like, you know what? If this is my last run, you're gonna remember this last run.
Right.
And that's what's exciting about him. That's why he's our motivator.
Right.
Because of that, the way his aura, is, yeah, I'm gonna get hit, but watch me hit you first.
Right. It's infectious, Mike, and you and both Rachel have talked about that. We've talked about that before. Losing Hill to Miami. We thought, and then some of the other running backs that came in that were highly touted coming out of college, but Pachenko is the one that's been there, week after week, carry after carry. So as we close up the show, Rachel and Mike. Rachel, I know who's going to win. I know who's going to win, but give me a score. What's the score? What's the final score of the game, Rachel?
I think that's a tough one. I honestly think it's going to be a defensive battle. Both defenses have been so good this year. So I don't think it's going to be too high scoring. So I'll go 27-24 Chiefs.
27-24 Chiefs. Little bro, go ahead. Give me your prognostication.
It's going to be 28-21.
28-21, a close battle. So as I do at the end of the show, I ask all of my guests a simple question. What does faith or spiritualness mean to you? And I'll start with my sister, our queen, Rachel. What does faith mean to you?
For me, faith means having a belief in something that you can't see. Trusting in something, someone, could be a teammate, a family member, God. So having that trust and confidence to then act in faith. And then for me, that means like I have faith that I can get back up when I fail and keep going, because I know in the end I will succeed.
That's awesome, sis. Thank you. And Mike, how about you?
Man, that's why we love each other, because we know that God has given us the power to be part of someone's life and to be their motivator, to uplift them, and also make ourselves vulnerable to reach out and ask when we need help. And that's what God has put in each one of us. So, but when you find yourself weak and you in a corner and you feel that nobody can help you, that's when you pray and ask for God's intervention. And when you allow him to come into your life and to pray out and shout out to him, it is heard. And he will respond when it's time for him to respond. But you just can't quit going in life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I thank you both for that. And obviously, you all are very special to me. I love both of you dearly. I love my sister more than I love my brother because he gets on my nerves. No, I'm just joking.
Most people do.
I love you, Mike. Thank you both for being on the show. I really appreciate it. And when I thought about doing a show right before the Super Bowl, there's nobody else that I thought about doing this show. And actually got in contact with you, Mike, as you were on the road doing business for your company. And, you didn't even, bat an eyelash. You said, bro, say less. We're there. And then I knew that Rachel had come back from deployment and wanted to make sure that she got in on this as well. And so I really appreciate you both and love you very much. Thank you.
You're number one, bro. We love you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Like I said before, I thank Michael and Rachel Dean for being on the show with me. And they are the best people and better Chiefs fans that I've ever met in my life. And I do really appreciate them. As I close the show, the one thing that we talked about this evening is family, right? I met Mike and Rachel when we moved to Missouri and moved into the subdivision that they lived in, and it was an instant familial connection between my wife Linda and Rachel and Mike and their son. Um, Family's important. Family is something that it can be tumultuous sometimes, it can be dysfunctional sometimes, but at the end of the day, when you put love and caring into something, into someone that reciprocates that love and the caring for you, that's what a family is, right? And we are all born into a family, and then there's a family that we choose, right? The Dean family chose me and Linda, the Brown family, and the Brown family chose Rachel and Mike. And because of that, I'm a better person. I'm a better person because I surrounded myself with good people, hardworking. They both served in the military, and we thank them for their service. But the one thing about them, they show up. Family shows up, and I want to thank them both for doing that. And if you any words from me today, family is very important. It's essential to children being reared. It's essential to adults moving forward and leaving great legacies. So I just want to say, um, you know, hug somebody today. Find one of your family members, hug them today. Let them know how much you care about them, and enjoy the Super Bowl. And we're going to see the Chiefs and the 49ers play in the Super Bowl, and it'll be a fantastic event. And we're rooting for Rachel, and we're rooting for Mike for them to have their day with the Chiefs. Good night, and God bless.